Welcome to the True Tomorrows podcast.
Yes.
Get ready for your weekly science fiction probe
Nice.
into, well, the wildest galactic tales from the realm of flash fiction.
Oh, I love it.
Think blockbuster sci-fi films,
Yeah,
meet epic short stories, all kind of distilled just for you.
absolutely.
Be sure to rate and follow the show for more captivating True Tomorrows.
Yes, please. We love those ratings.
Today you've tasked us with a science fiction probe into two
Yes.
very different flash fiction stories.
Okay.
Both exploring, I guess, the vastness of space and some rather extraordinary encounters.
That's right. You sent us excerpts.
Right.
Let's call them our flash fiction stories for today. And
Right.
they offer some fascinatingly contrasting perspectives on what might be out there.
Right.
Our mission, as always, is to kind of unpack these for you, the listener.
Right.
Distill the key insights and those aha moments without getting lost in all the unnecessary detail.
Exactly.
Right.
First up, we're going to be taking a look at Gulliver in space.
Oh,
And this isn't, your earthbound Gulliver.
Right.
This time he's traversing the cosmos.
Yeah.
Aboard his ship, the Lilliputian.
Okay.
We'll be exploring his internal struggles with isolation
Yes.
amidst the immensity of space and, well, what happens when a distress signal
Right.
lures him to an uncharted and, as you'll hear, rather unusual planet.
Interesting.
A classic character.
Right.
Wildly new context.
Absolutely.
What stood out to you initially about this premise?
What's immediately striking is the juxtaposition, isn't it?
Right.
Taking a character
Yeah.
so familiar with the grounded world and placing him in the ultimate unknown. It makes you consider how fundamental aspects of identity and an experience might shift when removed from all familiar frames of reference.
Yeah, that's a great point.
His feeling of isolation, even amidst the grandest scale imaginable, speaks to a very human need for connection, a need that perhaps becomes even more acute when confronted with the infinite.
It certainly makes you wonder about your own place in the universe, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, where do we fit in? What does it all mean?
And then the narrative throws a curveball, with that distress signal pulling Gulliver toward a planet.
Yeah.
Described as having vibrant colors and strange geometric landscapes.
Okay.
For you, what does a description like that evoke?
Well, it paints a picture of a world operating under entirely different principles, I think. Geometric landscapes suggests perhaps non-organic formations, or even the influence of some kind of intelligence, shaping the very terrain. And then vibrant colors hint at an environment with a completely different atmospheric composition.
Right.
And possibly unique forms of energy or even life.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point.
It's the kind of alien vista that really captures the imagination and makes you think about the sheer diversity that might exist beyond.
Absolutely. But that initial wonder quickly dissolves when a violent storm, unanticipated and fierce, throws his ship into chaos.
And of course, storms are always such a great narrative devices, aren't they? They create that sense of
exactly,
of unpredictability.
And the description of the lightning as the fingers of a cosmic giant is
ooh, I like that.
Is quite evocative.
Yeah.
What does that kind of imagery add to the scene for you?
Well, it elevates the storm beyond a mere meteorological event, gives it an almost mythical quality.
Right.
It underscores Gulliver's helplessness in the face of forces far greater than himself.
Yeah.
And in this alien context, it reinforces the idea that the natural laws he understands might not apply.
Mm-hmm.
It's a powerful way to foreshadow the dramatic shift in his circumstances that's about to occur.
And what a shift it is.
Oh.
Tell me. He awakens to hundreds of tiny eyes staring at him,
Oh, wow.
Bound by countless restraints.
Okay.
These beings no bigger than his thumb hold him with remarkable precision and authority. Imagine that. Your booming voice in their world just emphasizes your utter powerlessness.
Yeah.
What's the key takeaway for you in this dramatic reversal?
It flips the script, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Gulliver, accustomed to being the physically dominant figure, is now completely at the mercy of beings he could inadvertently crush. It forces him into a position of extreme vulnerability.
Right.
And it makes you think about how scale and perspective dictate power.
Yeah.
What might seem insignificant can become overwhelming when the roles are reversed.
That's a great point.
It's a potent reminder that power dynamics are often contextual.
Exactly. And when the leader from this land of Naniput calls him giant and declares him a danger, despite Gulliver's pleas for peace, it really highlights that initial fear of the unknown. What does this immediate reaction tell you about first encounters?
Well, it speaks volumes about the tendency to project our fears onto the unfamiliar.
Yes.
From the Naniputians' perspective, Gulliver's size alone is an inherent threat, regardless of his intentions. It highlights how quickly assumptions and prejudices can form in the face of the unknown, and how difficult it can be to overcome those initial perceptions, even with peaceful intentions. It makes you consider how often we might do the same thing.
Yes, it does.
Judging based on what we perceive as different or larger than ourselves, metaphorically speaking.
That's a really insightful point. Now, communication is a huge barrier.
Yeah, of course.
But a young Naniputian guard named Finn shows curiosity rather than fear, right? And starts to interact with Gulliver in secret. What does Finn's character represent in this initial stage?
Well, Finn represents the power of individual curiosity, I think, and empathy to transcend fear and prejudice. He embodies the idea that not everyone in a society will adhere to the prevailing beliefs, especially when those beliefs are rooted in fear. His willingness to engage with Gulliver, despite the risks, offers a glimmer of hope for understanding and connection, suggesting that open-mindedness can be found even in the most fearful environments.
We then see Gulliver's attempts to escape and communicate fail. Largely due to his size being misinterpreted. And this leads to a humiliating public parade.
Oh, no.
Which ironically allows him to observe their way of life and see flickers of wonder and curiosity amidst the fear.
Okay, so a little bit of a shift.
Why is this shift in his perception so important?
It's a crucial turning point, I think, because it marks Gulliver's first real step toward understanding the Naniputians beyond their initial fearful reaction. By observing them in their daily lives, he starts to see them not just as a collective threat, but as individuals with their own culture and emotions. This recognition of their humanity, even in their miniature form, is essential for any possibility of peaceful coexistence.
Yeah, that's a great point.
It makes you consider how important observation and empathy are in breaking down barriers between different groups.
Realizing that force is futile, Gulliver shifts his focus to repairing his ship with Finn's help. But their discovery leads to recapture and Finn's arrest.
Oh, no.
Really highlighting the control of the Naniputian rulers. What does this setback underscore for you?
This reinforces the high stakes, I think, and the inherent power imbalance that's at play. Finn's arrest demonstrates the consequences of defying the established order and highlights the oppressive nature of the ruling regime. It forces Gulliver to understand that his own actions have repercussions for others, and that he needs a more nuanced approach than simply trying to escape. It makes you think about the responsibility that comes with any kind of power, even unintentional power, like Gulliver's sheer size.
Gulliver then adopts a strategy of observation, learning their language and culture, trying to understand their fears and dreams. He even starts sharing his own stories. And the reactions are mixed.
Right.
Right, showing the power of both fear-mongering and personal connection.
What's the key insight here about bridging divides? Well, it underscores the complex interplay between fear and propaganda and genuine human connection.
Okay.
The mixed reactions highlight how deeply ingrained fear can be, especially when fueled by those in power.
Yes.
However, the fact that some Naniputians respond with curiosity and even empathy to Gulliver's stories shows the power of individual narratives, to break through those barriers and foster understanding on a personal level. It's a reminder that even in the face of widespread prejudice, individual connections can be a powerful force for change.
He then starts to help them in small ways, using his size to their benefit, demonstrating kindness. Slowly, the fear in their eyes began to be replaced with respect and even admiration. How significant is this gradual shift in perception?
It's incredibly significant because it shows that actions truly speak louder than words. By consistently demonstrating kindness and using his unique abilities to help them, Gulliver is actively challenging their initial perception of him as a monster. This gradual erosion of fear replaced by positive emotions is a testament to the power of empathy and reciprocal altruism in building trust and overcoming prejudice. It's a powerful example of how consistent positive interactions can change hearts and minds.
But just as things are looking up, the rulers, feeling their authority wane, sentence Gulliver to execution.
Oh, no.
Setting the stage for a dramatic confrontation.
Oh, wow.
What does this reveal about those in power?
It reveals a classic characteristic, I think, of authoritarian regimes. That the fear of losing control often leads to desperate and extreme measures. The rulers prioritize maintaining their power over the well-being and evolving understanding of their people. It highlights the fragility of progress when those in power feel threatened by it. And the potential for those in authority to exploit fear for their own gain.
On the eve of his execution, Gulliver surprisingly finds a connection, a sense of belonging on this strange planet. This wasn't what he was searching for among the stars, was it? What's the profound element in this realization for you?
It's a beautiful irony, isn't it?
It is,
Gulliver, who initially sought something undefined in the vastness of the cosmos, finds an unexpected sense of connection in this tiny alien world. It speaks to the idea that belonging isn't necessarily about physical scale or familiarity, but about shared experiences and mutual understanding. It suggests that what we truly seek might be found in the most unexpected places. And that true connection can transcend even the most significant differences.
The execution morning is tense with Finn bravely intervening. Then Gulliver speaks in their language, appealing for peace. This sways the crowd, much to the elders' dismay. What's the power dynamic at play here?
Well, we see the power
of individual courage, I think, and the impact of genuine communication. Finn's bravery acts as a catalyst, and Gulliver's ability to speak their language directly bypasses the ruler's control over information, and appeals directly to the people's sense of reason, empathy. It demonstrates how truth and understanding can challenge and even overturn established power structures built on fear and misinformation.
in a desperate move, the elder reveals a weapon.
Okay.
But Finn stands by Gulliver, declaring, "We stand with you."
Wow.
Gulliver protects Finn, right?
Great.
Sees a flaw in the weapon.
Okay.
Redirects it.
Okay.
And ends the elder's reign.
Oh, wow.
What's the significance? Yeah.
Of this climactic moment.
It's a moment of true heroism, I think, and a culmination of Gulliver's journey.
Right.
He not only protects those who showed him kindness, but he also uses his intellect to overcome the immediate threat. The destruction of the platform symbolizes the dismantling of the oppressive regime.
Right.
It's a powerful message about how courage combined with understanding and a willingness to act can lead to liberation.
In the aftermath, the Naniputians willingly help Gulliver repair his ship.
Right.
Complete transformation from their initial fear.
Right.
As he departs, Finn says, "You have changed us." and Gulliver replies, "And you have changed me." What's the ultimate takeaway from this exchange?
It highlights the mutual transformative power, I think, of cross-cultural encounters.
Right.
Both Gulliver and the Naniputians have undergone significant personal growth and societal change as a result of their interaction. It underscores the idea that understanding and empathy are not one-way streets. They enrich and alter all involved, leaving a lasting impact long after the initial encounter.
But the story doesn't end there.
Oh.
As Gulliver soars into space, a colossal entity observes him, revealing that Naniput is part of a larger being.
Interesting.
Testing humanity's capacity for understanding and empathy.
Wow.
What an unexpected cosmic perspective. What does this final twist add for you?
Well, it elevates the entire narrative to a cosmic scale, suggesting that these seemingly isolated encounters might be part of a larger universal process of evaluation.
Okay, yeah.
You know, it makes you ponder humanity's place in the cosmos and whether our interactions with the unknown are being observed and judged based on our capacity for compassion and understanding.
Right.
You know, it adds a profound layer of meaning to Gulliver's journey, suggesting it was not just a personal experience, but a test with universal implications.
With this revelation, Gulliver heads home with new insights and a renewed sense of purpose.
Okay.
His journey was truly a test of connection in a vast universe.
Absolutely. He went out seeking adventure, perhaps even conquest in a way, and returned with a profound understanding
of the importance of empathy and connection, not just for personal growth, but potentially for humanity's standing in a larger cosmic context.
Now let's pivot to a completely different kind of spacefaring tale. Okay. Starborn Nomads. This flash fiction story throws us into the world of a rebellious band of teen Romani space travelers who are heirs to an ancient secret.
Okay.
And the premise is immediately captivating.
Okay, tell me more.
They unlock time travel to escape a cosmic empire trying to erase their culture from history. Yeah. What grabs your attention most about this setup?
Well, the immediate hook is the powerful combination of cultural identity and high stakes science fiction.
You know, the idea of a nomadic people already often marginalized, taking to the stars, and then using time travel to fight for their very, very existence against a totalitarian empire is incredibly compelling. It raises questions about cultural preservation, about resilience, and the lengths to which people will go to protect their heritage.
The setting itself is richly detailed.
Okay.
A sprawling cosmos.
Okay.
With civilizations rising and falling.
Right.
these protagonists, the Drabarin, are a hidden Romani lineage.
Okay.
Descended from an ancient interdimensional people.
Okay.
Who once possessed Velamarshki.
Okay.
Time-bending technology lost to legend.
Okay.
What do you make of this this blend of ancient heritage and advanced technology?
Well, it creates a fascinating sense of deep history and mystery, I think.
Okay.
The idea that this group has roots in an ancient interdimensional people suggests a long and perhaps forgotten legacy, while the Vlamoshki technology